here we are. This is who we are.
New artist alert.
I love that sound. I love it. I hope it never dies, ironically. I hope that never dies.
It's slowly dying. Oh, boy.
Like our champion.
Miguel, yeah. Miguel has requested Ola, Ryan, and Nathan. Hola, Miguel. The request is Fanny. Hey Bulldog is the name of it. 1971.
Oh, wow.
Okay. He says, I'm not too familiar with this all-female band, but I know of them from my father, who is a big fan. So that's probably where Miguel's getting a lot of this kind of carryover. His dad was a fan of female bands, and he's really a fan of them. This is his favorite song by them. He's not 100% certain, but he says, I do believe they're the first all-female band in North America.
Oh, wow.
It's like history. So we're going to experience the first all-female band, possibly, in history, in the North American history anyway, from 1971. That is 54 years ago.
Wow. So a lot of context here. They have 5 studio albums from 70 to 74. Back in the day when you released 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. So they released
an album every year.
Yeah, an album every year. I love it. So that's cool, actually, though. 5 studio albums in the 70s. Wow. They just kicked it off right away. And this one's called Hey Bulldog. Yeah. This is from, it's not from their first album. I'm just checking to see which album it might be from really quickly here. So it's not from their first album, funny enough. Okay. Their second album called Charity Ball. Not from their second album. Is it from their third album? Stand by for third album. It is. It's the first track. Oh, Nathan, it's a Beatles song.
Hey Bulldog is a Beatles song?
Yeah, it was sung by the Beatles on their 69 album, Yellow Submarine.
Huh.
I thought the name sounded familiar. So it's a Beatles cover. So this was released in 1972. So it's funny. This is only 3 years after the song from the Beatles was released. Okay, here we go.
Is measured out in miles. What makes you think you're something special when you smile? Childlike, no one understands. Jackknife in your sweaty hands. Some kind of innocence is measured out in years. I know just what it's like to listen to my fears. You can talk to me. You can talk to me. You can talk to me. If you're lonely, you can talk to me. Hey. Hedgehog, rubbing in the sand. Leapfrog, giving him a hand. Some kind of attitude is measured out inside. You think you're going, but you haven't got a ride. You can talk to me. You can talk to me. You can talk to me. If you're lonely, you can talk to me.
Oh, yeah.
apart. Flim flam, frightened of the dark. Some kind of solitude is measured out in you. You think you know me, but you haven't got a clue. Oh, you can't talk to me. You can't talk to me. You can't talk to me. If you're lonely, you can't talk to me. Come on, Bulldog. Show your teeth now.
This is fascinating because if this is true, if this is the first all female band, I'll say this because I think I'm going to guess that there was a time where these girls really had to fight for this. Think about this. These are the only, they're like a slew of all male bands or the occasional female singer or a female artist along with a bunch of guys. This is the first time. So they would have had to push back against all of the naysayers. The Beatles had to do it too, but I'm just saying this is the first time these girls, it's just all girls. And I guess what I'm saying is in retrospect, like obviously looking back at this now, it's hard for me to be that way. It's hard for me to think of it that way because I know what bands have to go through. And these guys would have had like that kind of pressure times 10, times 1,000. Like it would have been much harder for them to gain credibility. We're just hearing about them now. We didn't know anything about them. And I don't know what kind of popularity they had or didn't have. I guess what I'm getting at is it's a shame because I feel for them to be this bold to find the what am I saying here? The courage really to get in front of crowds and to sing and to be and to perform would have taken a lot. And hearing how good they sound and how I love the sound of them. Like I really think this should have been up next to bands like Aerosmith and Led Zeppelin as far as the sound goes. But I can see why people would have brushed them aside by the way that they looked or by the way that they performed. They weren't those bands for them. They didn't do it the way that those other bands did it for them. I can see why it just wouldn't. It was almost like they were way ahead of their time.
So you enjoyed the performance then?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I'm saying teenage Nathan would have been caught up in any kind of, if somebody, you listen to Fanny.
I listened to female artists when I was younger. I listened to Roxette. I enjoyed female artists. I liked Madonna. I liked Jefferson Airplane. I liked the songs from Heart. I enjoyed. I guess to me, female singers to perform, Tina Turner. The video is hokey. If we saw it in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, we would have said, yeah, the 70s had a very weird look to it where we would say, oh, it's the 70s. Looking through it now, 50 years later, it's very nostalgic and cool to see them do this. Of course, perspective is everything, but I just say don't sell yourself too short. I think you would have liked it. I don't know. I don't.
If I'd only heard it, I think so. If it was like, are you going to a Fanny concert? I'm like, no.
Maybe, I think the video might have seen very Partridge Family, Brady Bunch look to it. So I think that's probably what you're thinking. But that being said, fair enough. I mean, I don't get too hung up on that. I'm just a little surprised at the self-analysis. I didn't. Yeah, but I don't think we would have listened to it because even obviously back then it would have been, this band came out before we were born. They released 5 albums a year before we were born. They were almost pretty much said and done. So I look at this now, of course, at the age of 50-ish, getting there, a very fascinating look at history to see they're not the first all-female band, of course, but they're just one of the first to make some airwaves and noise on the scene, so to speak. But it's what I find the most fascinating now is seeing they're in their 20s when they're doing this. Like, what got them there then? Because this was 50 years ago, 50 plus years ago, and they already were young. And so it's fascinating to me because this wasn't common for a bunch of girls to get together and play rock and roll. So that to me is the fascinating vortex. I would love to see if there's a documentary on this band. We've had a couple of those today, where I'd love to see the early days of this, how they formed, and TV footage. That I think this would be a fascinating documentary. And as I was watching the video too, I noticed, I was like, are they twins or something? It took me a second to realize that the bass player and the guitarist were two different people, because they kept showing their face. They're so similar looking. They're sisters. And I thought they might even been twin sisters, but I don't think they're twin. They just said on Wikipedia they are sisters from the Philippines, but they lived in California, I think. They used to play on their ukuleles, and yeah, so incredible. I love the keyboardist playing with the singing, all the backing vocals. It sounded like this was live in the studio as well. That's really cool. So the sound quality is amazing for 50 plus years ago. I don't understand the blue screen. I don't know what that is. Do you have any idea why that is?
It's like a trend. Almost.
What's it doing?
Well, what I wonder is if bands shot on blue screens with that intention of, and we can put whatever we want behind it.
But did they have that back then?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a chroma key thing. It was, you take film and you just take out like one of the colors out of the projector.
I guess what I'm asking, because this is pre-digital, of course. So when they're filming, like, how does the film know to put them in the forefront and the background? I'm confused how that was.
I don't understand the exact science, but it was literally like you have your lamp that goes through it, and you just take that one color out, and then when the light goes through it,
because if you look at like right here, like it knows there's the mic, it's exactly knows where. Is there an actual? I guess what I'm saying is, if you were to walk in right now, would you see anything behind them?
I don't know.
You get what I'm saying? Is there like literally a blue curtain there? What is there physically behind the drummer? Because how did the technology know to like keep the mic, keep the speaker, keep the drum, like even in between the cymbals?
I don't think it's a technology thing. I think it's literally a light thing, a color thing. So that color, that they're purposely not wearing whatever color that they've taken out of it, and then they've put the blue color in its place. And maybe it was a green screen, or maybe but that was the intention. You're going to take this video, because I could take this video right now and plop it into software and just delete the blue color and then throw it over any video if I wanted to. Yeah.
That's the question, specifically for 1972 or whatever. What were they using? Like, I found that fascinating. And that's, teenage Ryan would not have thought of that. He would have thought, oh, yeah, you're right, this looks hokey. Why are they looking like that? But now 2025 Ryan's like, how did they do that back then? I'm actually very curious about that. And the other thing I wanted to say, of course, was the playing was incredible. They rockified this a lot. I can't imagine. And in fact, I don't know the song by the Beatles, the original. I'd put dollars to donuts. There was not the guitar solos and the wailings and stuff. They totally rockified this. They made this their own. So there's no way they had that guitar solo going on, and especially they had one even at the end there. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think they extended the song with their solos, and they totally rockified it, which is a great cover. What does the cover do, folks? Is if you know the original, you hear the original, but the band makes it their own. So you're like, hey, I want to hear more. So that's what I'm about to say, Miguel. I want to hear more Fanny, but an original song of theirs, and maybe another live shot if you have that as well. So there you go. All right, cool. Thanks.
Cool. All right, cool. If you enjoyed that, and if you want to be like Miguel and suggest more songs or tell us the story or be one of our patrons, you can always do that. It's not hard. Until then, we'll see you on the next one.